Alrighty guys, we're back for Simic Behemoth, and this is a Through the Omenpath Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. All four Craterhoof Behemoths here on the top end. It's an 8 mana 5/5 with haste. When it enters, creatures you control gain trample, and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So we're going to do our dandiest to actually keep some creatures on the board. We do have 30 of them packed in. My goodness, that's half the deck list. So what other great top-end creatures do we have to pair with that behemoth? Well, we got Vaultborn Tyrant making the cut as a 2-of, and also a couple Marang River Regents too. Not a creature, but also chilling here on the top end, we have a Through the Omenpath. It's an 8 mana enchantment with Convoke. So of course, creatures can help you cast this spell at the beginning of combat on your turn. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it'd be pretty great to hit some behemoths off of the Through the Omenpath. So we have Dreamdew Entrancer and a whole bunch of other ETB creatures that we don't get to see very often. So this is a 4 mana 3/4 with reach. When it enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put 3 stun counters on it. If you control that creature, draw 2 cards. So this could potentially be some card draw for you, but most of the time you're probably just going to tap down a creature, and 3 stun counters is kind of no joke, taking that creature out of the equation for quite some time. We have all 4 Clifftop Lookout for some fantastic ramp, and speaking of fantastic ramp, all 4 Fenrir making the cut too. Trying to do a little bit of tempo thing, we got a Jill making the cut as a 1-of, and we also have all 4 Floodpits Drowner as well. And pairing with all these ETB effects, we do have a couple Doppelgangs. Also, more ramp. We have 4 Llanowar Elves, of course, and most of the games, guys, you really do want to see Llanowar Elves on turn 1, and some of the games might literally come down to whether or not your Llanowar Elves on turn 1 survives, so hopefully it does. More ways to try to help us survive. We have a couple Into the Flood Maws here, and a Mockingbird to go ahead and copy some of those important creatures. Over in the mana base, we do have 25 total mana. One of them is a Restless Vinestalk. Then we have all 4 Multiversal Passage, all 4 Breeding Pool, all 4 Willowrush Verge, and a Mistrise Village making the cut as a 1-of as well. No honorable mentions today, guys. There's so many different ways we can put together Simic Ramp. This is just one of them, maybe. So at the very least, let me know what should have made the cut as an honorable mention down in the comments. Either way, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some Ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Not a whole lot, honestly. I think it's going to be pretty janky overall. And when I was going over it there, I said a lot of the games might literally come down to that turn 1 Llanowar Elf. And I do believe that. So, like for example, in this one, if that Mockingbird was just that Llanowar Elf, oh, it would look like a pretty strong lineup, right? Trying to get right into the turn 2 Fenrir or Lookout. Even so, this could still be a good lineup. But the opponent goes first, and there's no real method of survival in hand. I'll keep it. Yeah, if I'm not expecting a lot, we might as well push our luck a little bit. Ooh, Floodpits Drowner. Okay. That'd be great if we had a blue source. We're hoping that the Fenrir is enough to grab the blue source, and Lookout can potentially see one too. Okay, we're definitely going to need some kind of method of survival here. So Llanowar Elves is not bad, and again, too bad we didn't already have that blue source in hand, because then a Mockingbird could have come down for X's 0. That would have been pretty decent here, I would say. Enduring Innocence, nice. They get a good swing past the Elves, and I guess we'll let them this time. We could still have a potential chump with the Llanowar Elves in the future. Dreamdew Entrancer, cool. So do we go Lookout or Fenrir? I guess we go Fenrir because, well, extra counter on Lookout or something could still be good. But this also guarantees that we grab the blue, or we might not see blue on the Lookout. We definitely want the Entrancer to tap down the Pridemate next turn, so make sure we actually grab that island for the turn. And I guess like I said, there's still a potential great chump in the Llanowar Elves' future. What's the point of swinging unless we're trying to get them underneath, like, their leyline ability or something? Okay, Pride made up to 5. Speaking of up to 5, if we don't jump with Llanowar Elves, we see mana off the top. Still only have 6 on the board, which could be like Floodpits Drowner and Entrancer on the same turn. There's no guarantee that we actually see the 6th off the top anyways. So I think maybe now's the time for the chump. Could also try the trade into the Innocence, comes back over here. Going back up. Let's chump the Pridemate while we have it before they pick it up with Sheltered by Ghost or something, right? Yeah, because there's no guarantee that we see an untapped source off the top. And then we're not going to get the card draw on Fenrir anyways. It's not the greatest trade in the world. It gets 1 lifelink creature off the board, comes back over here as an enchantment. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's not terrible for us. It's bad, but it could be worse. And Entrancer blocks really well in the air too, so because it has reach. Into the Flood Maw, nice. Okay, sweet. That's pretty good. We could go Clifftop Lookout now instead and have Into the Flood Maw to bounce the Pridemate, and we could keep that open to see if we could fizzle out like a Sheltered by Ghost, which would still be pretty good for the opponent, I would say. This Enduring Innocence is going to keep them nice and stocked up every turn. Okay, I'm going to save the Entrancer. We're going to go Clifftop Lookout, because the Into the Flood Maw was just such a good draw. Alright, Breeding Pool. Cool. Into the Flood Maw open. Could always go, well, yeah, no, that's not worth it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the opponent did have 2 mana open here too, so that appeared to be nothing. Essence Channeler. The problems continue to roll. They go ahead and draw off the Enduring Innocence. Get some good boosts here. Now I guess the Channeler's a better bounce target, but we still have to deal with the 9/9 Pridemate, which is probably going to be larger than a 9/9. Yeah, Fountain Port on the board. Entrancer can still tap down Channeler, I suppose, when it comes time. Yeah, at least Clifftop Lookout blocks the Ruin Lurker Bat really well. Oh, okay, yep, they saw it. Okay, let's go ahead, do the tempo thing. Yeah. They got 3 mana open. It was nothing, thank goodness. Got 5 mana on the board. So for Mockingbird, can have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. So of course we could target the opponent's creatures if we think that would be something we want to do. So Breeding Pool we can take 2 and have Floodpits Drowner open with the Entrancer. Well, I mean, we play Entrancer, then keep the Drowner open, which is pretty good. And it's crazy that even with such a good tempo play, they can still just replay it and it's immediately a 4/4, you know? And then next turn, it's going to be an even bigger problem. All right, let's do this. The 2 Entrancer, tap down the Channeler for 3 turns. And I suppose Floodpits Drowner will hit before combat on their turn. Okay, nice. Not bad. Holding on for dear life, guys. Case of the Uneaten Feast. Oh my goodness. And then they still have Fountain Port too. Okay, Exemplar of Light. That is also a worthwhile card to tap down here. And another way for them to restock their hand beautifully. Okay. Right. We do, I mean, the Exemplar can't attack yet, so we probably still do Floodpits Drowner on Pridemate, but if we Floodpits Drowner on Exemplar, we can just banish it back to the deck list next turn. We probably should hit the Exemplar and maybe just chump with Lookout. Oh dear, guys. Oh dear. Mono white life gain has been everywhere for me, and it is just a devastating deck list to go up against. Oh, no swings from them, guys. Also, did I click through all of that? All right, well, yeah, I think, yeah, they dropped the oops. That's okay. That's okay. That's just good news for us, right? We could try to get some swings through here with the Floodpits Drowner, but I'd rather keep Into the Flood Maw open. But you could always go Mockingbird. Mockingbird the Entrancer, maybe? X is 3. I'll have 2 mana open. Let's banish the Exemplar. Like I said, we could try to get that swing, but I think the Sanctifier would trade into the Drowner anyways. And yeah, instead of the Into the Flood Maw, they'll just play their creature again, draw more cards and everything. Let's do something strange with this, right? Let's do X's 3 on the Mockingbird. It'd be nice to actually draw. We could tap down Lookout, draw 2, but no, we should definitely keep at it. Keep at it, right? And now we do have a swing with the first Entrancer. We're doing something, for sure. Neat. Right now, though, we're still 2 mana away from the Behemoth. Not doing the ramp thing very well this time, but... although we did technically ramp. Maybe if I would have taken extra damage earlier instead of letting the Llanowar Elves die. Nah, we probably would have had to chump with it eventually anyways. Now all we need to do is draw a Dreamdew Entrancer for 2 more turns. Lock down these powerful creatures, right? So we still have a great play with the other Into the Flood Maw, which was just a really good draw, especially against this deck list, right? Oh, Enduring Innocence number 2. Holy cow, man. Hey, if we can survive long enough, maybe they'll deck themselves out. Now, funny enough, they've only seen 2 extra cards. That's because we dug some land out of the deck list, though. Okay, both of the cases are solved. They don't have anything in the grave anyways. We do see some mana, but again, still 1 short from the Behemoth, even though that would be such a good... would be such a good turn, because both of these are still tapped down. But they're at 36, so that's also a thing, I suppose. Alright, gotta keep some blockers on the ground. We're at 14. This is one of those scenarios, too. If they top deck a Leyline, like, it doesn't always have to be free Leyline at the beginning of the game. Yeah, if they top deck a Leyline, I think we'd be in some serious danger. Yeah, with Into the Flood Maw, probably bouncing the Pride Mate. It really depends what else they end up doing here. This Channeler is down to the last stun counter. So that'll be ready to start swinging in next turn. Sanctifier, okay. No, we're missing from this deck list, guys. Aetherize, right? That would be pretty good here, for sure. But then we'd have to see it though too. I guess the best way for us to have seen something like a 1 of Aetherize would have been using our Entrancers, tapping down our own creatures. But then we seriously would be dead already, probably. We still have a few rounds of chumping too. few rounds of chumps. We could save the Into the Flood Maw for the Channeler then maybe. Another Sanctifier. Yeah, if we chump this turn, maybe we do save the Into the Flood Maw. The problem is if we do see our 8th mana off the top, I really want to go Behemoth, and then we won't have the Flood Maw open. So yeah, we'll probably use Into the Flood Maw this turn. And try to go for just a really fun swing, because I don't think we're going to get there. And I'd rather just actually have a swing. That's a 22-21 Channeler. Nice. They do swing with the 15-15 Pridemate. It's funny too because they're going to be gaining so much life when they actually just recast the Pridemate, which is a reason to consider just the chump for sure. But it's like I said, I want to try to get the fun swing in. If we see the 8th mana, we won't have Flood Maw anyways because I want to go Behemoth. We do find it, guys. Awesome. Let's do the fun swing. It's actually a fantastic swing too. They do keep the Fountain Port open for Fishy, I suppose. A surprise Fishy. Take 1. They're going to gain 5 per creature entering, which is crazy business, man. Let's go ahead and get that Behemoth down. We got to do the fun thing, guys, for sure. And this game has already taken some time. You know what? If we had a way to... No, I mean... Also, they missed all of their Sheltered by Ghosts. Yeah, waiting for Fishy means they do draw 2 on the Innocence as well. That was a pretty good idea, opponent, instead of recasting the Pridemate and stuff. Yeah, that's a fun enough swing. We should swing, right? We should totally swing. Because the only other thing I can think of is somehow surviving next turn, right? If they miss Sheltered by Ghosts or something. I guess we have reach on all these. We could block in the air. And then finding Doppelgang off the top, which is a 2 of in here. We have 44 cards. Nah, I don't think we're going to see it. I want to swing, bro. Go, 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 little creatures. They could go ahead and take all of this damage. They do go ahead and take some blocks, though. I mean, they can do that as well because they have terrific full swing next turn regardless with that Channeler, too. So how much damage do we got here, guys? We have 16, 21, 28 damage, and they're at 44. Oh my goodness. I'd say if we really, really desperately wanted to win, we would have established Behemoth and then just hoped to survive with minimum amount of blocks, right? And then saw Doppelgang off the top, which would have been X's 2 on the Behemoth. And that maybe could have done the thing. I don't know how that would math out because we don't know exactly where we would have had to block as well. Yeah, we kind of did the thing. I'm pleased. We held up this meta deck list for quite some turns. We held them up all the way into the late game for sure. We had other great top ends that we could have seen here too, so kind of pleased with this. Hey, good game, opponent. We're going to go ahead and let them swing on in and get any quests done. Guys, always keep an eye down in the description. We have timestamps. You can go ahead and skip ahead to other games, or maybe you just want to see the final thoughts. And then also at the bottom of the video, you can always mouse over it too and see the different chapters on the video. But I do like to let the opponents play it on out. I did have fun, actually. That was quite the puzzle. And Dreamdew Entrancer... It's a strange creature, but it kind of feels slept on in a way, right? And I loved how we used the Mockingbird there to get the Entrancer's ability again, which actually just seems fantastic, right? All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Oh, also, we could have mulliganed that game, right? We didn't have that early blue source, so things really could have lined up a little better. Maybe if I would have mulliganed. Yeah, guys, seriously, I think that maybe could have actually went our way. Although I do wonder, I mean, mono white life gain's gotta be favored in that matchup, right? Gotta be. So the opponent goes first here, and we do have everything we need. If Llanowar Elves dies on our turn 1, though, then we will need to see our 3rd mana, which should be all too easy in this one. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up. The opponent has arrived. Let's keep it. All right, Mountain. Oh, no, guys. All right, well, Llanowar Elves, unfortunately. Okay, we do see our 3rd mana. That's great news. I'm so sorry, Llanowar Elves. I'm so sorry. Incredibly low chance of survival against an open mountain. Goodbye, my friend. That's okay, since we saw the 3rd right away, we're good to go, huh? Ooh, Needlehead. Okay. Go ahead and keep the Floodpits Drowner open. See if we can tap down a Nemesis. Which is definitely the best thing we could possibly tap down. Astronaut, okay. Okay, let's see what else the opponent does here. Could be protection. It's a worthwhile try, right? Nice. Not bad. Just maybe another creature. It is. It's going to be a Scalding Viper. Cool. So we have the option to pay the 2 and banish the Needlehead so we don't take the 1. We're taking some damage next turn, though. We could play Breeding Pool tapped then, or we could pay 2, get the Fenrir down, make sure we have Entrancer. You know what? I am going to banish the Needlehead. It's kind of a tough decision, but yeah, we see some mana actually. That's not bad at all. Let's go ahead, get this down tapped, and see if I made a good decision here, because Needlehead can just continuously poke as this game goes on too. So, Hired Claw, we got 1 card in hand. It's not a whole lot of damage, right? Gonna go ahead and activate the Bastronaut ability. Luckily, it doesn't have Double Strike yet. Alright, Breeding Pool off the top. So we have the Dreamdew Entrancer, which blocks really well, and I think what we'd want to actually tap down is the Hired Claw, because that gets through. Well, so does the Bastronaut, though. Maybe we do tap down Bastronaut, especially since it's a looming double strike threat in the future. We also have Breeding Pool tapped, go Fenrir for some ramp, getting us closer to the Tyrant's life gain. We are trying to do the ramp thing. The question is, how explosive is the opponent's deck list trying to be, right? You know what? I just talked myself into that. We can, ow, my face. What does that do again? Alright, let's go ahead, grab an island here, get the other Breeding Pool down tapped. We'll have 6 mana as of next turn. So whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, this creature deals 1 damage to that player. So that's pretty scary. I'll take that trade all day. Oh. Okay, they decide, wait a minute, yeah, maybe we take the trade into the Viper. But I wouldn't mind an extra counter on the Entrancer versus, is it Spellslingers? I'm gonna take the 3, guys. I hope that's okay. Extra counter on the Entrancer could be fantastic versus Spellslingers. So, 6th mana. 1 short from the Through the Omenpath, unfortunately. We could go Lookout to make sure we have Tyrant next turn. Only 3 open. Fenrir could still be a chump too. The Tyrant might be the best bet, start getting some life gain rolling in, but the Entrancer for the turn just seems really good too, doesn't it? Okay, I'm actually gonna go Lookout though. Yeah, it's a little awkward because of how it lines up, and also that Viper smacking our face around, but now we have the guaranteed 7th on the board for the Tyrant, which could start gaining us some good life here, as long as we don't die this turn, which I suppose is a possibility. Oh, 2nd Hired Claw, a lot of just stuff poking at our face. I love the deck list opponent, really cool stuff. That's my kind of is it, man. I love the Scalding Viper here too. Already kind of proven itself a little bit. And of course it has the adventure side too. Sorcery speed slows it down, but that's still a great ability on an adventure. So Sanctuary is in fact a lizard. They go for that swing and will take that trade all day. They don't have any cards in hand, but they do have max speed now. So they got the double strike on the Bastronaut. Yep, we got to be very careful. Let's see about that Tyrant. They're going to go ahead and boost up the Hired Claws. Tyrant brings us back up to... And we do have Through the Omenpath too, guys, if we tap down Lookout, but that's a little too risky. It's got to be Vaultborn Tyrant. Bring us back up to 11. See what we see off the top here. Find some mana, which I'm not mad about at all. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Yeah, we're still in significant danger because they still have the other Sanctuary to power up too. And with the menacing double strike on the Bastronaut, that literally could end the game if they force blocks elsewhere. Actually, guys, they could easily win this turn, for sure. For sure. It depends on what they top deck here. They do go for the full swing, get 2 damage through, back down to 9. Now we have the option. Do we double block the Bastronaut, taking 6, and if they top deck like a lightning strike, we're super dead? Or do we block wide, try to take care of the Hired Claw, taking 4? Well, we take 2 here, right? And then they could use this Bastronaut's ability. If it's a boost spell, the Bastronaut would kill us too. I think our best bet is taking 6 and pretending that they didn't get a lightning strike. And instead, this looks like the type of deck list that wants to boost its creatures anyways. All right, double block the Bastronaut. I hope I made the right decision here. Yeah, because down to 3 is super sketchy. Oh, guys, Hired Claw as well, though. Oh, Burst Lightning. Oh, I think they missed. They missed lethal damage, guys. Thank goodness. Whew. Yeah, down to 1. If they would have hit Burst Lightning to face, that would have been it. Holy cow, right. So even if we use double Dreamdew Entrancers, so we got what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? This is power 4 or greater. So, and if we play Fenrir or something, that'll kill us from the Viper. 1 second, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. So if we go double Entrancer and tap down both Hired Claws, they power up Soulstone Sanctuary, swing, and the Hired Claw still gets the damage through. So I think we just go through the Omenpaths and see if we can do the fun thing. See if we hit something chunky, gain us some life. We do find a Vaultborn Tyrant. Holy cow, man. Right, so we can't swing because we're at 7, but we can go ahead and play some more land here, which I suppose would be an island. Too bad that's not an Into the Flood Maw. Guys, can we give some props to the opponent? This is a really cool deck list. Whoa, Nemesis is getting through. That is still going to be game because we go down to 5. We can't block the Nemesis. Really good top decks over there too. Wow. That's something else, huh? Now we were like surviving on a free turn there from Missed Lethal though, so okay, yeah, we're kind of doing the thing. I guess it's about what I was expecting, right? Yeah. Let's try one more. And guys, while I have you here, towards the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And also, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you enjoy the channel, consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. So thank you. All right, yes, I like it. The opponent goes first, though. Oh, man. Okay. That's okay. Maybe Llanowar Elves survives this time. Oh, a higher chance of survival. Hello, opponent. Oh. I can do that, too. Now, what are you ramping into? That's the question. Mossborn Hydra or Tifa with an open veil? No, Hydra. Okay. So Clifftop Lookout's pretty good, actually. I do think, I think Fenrir's a little better, right? In this scenario. Can grab a blue source, even though we don't necessarily need a blue source right now. We'll eventually need 2 on the board, or maybe we'd want an open one without taking the 2 from the breeding pool. Second Hydra with the Fable Passage coming down, and we are in significant danger unless we see some of our tempo pieces, which can easily tap those down, or some of our bounce pieces as well, right? So if we do go for that swing, we're going to go ahead and take it, because that 4 damage doesn't mean anything when they usually just explode through with 128 damage or something crazy. So we can easily take that 4 instead of the 2. Plus, yeah, just taking 2 because of the trample wouldn't even be that great, so. Okay. So another Llanowar Elves, I think I'd usually be pretty happy about that, but without any way to actually slow down these Hydra, I'm pretty convinced that we're going to die next turn, probably no matter what. So let's just go Lookout, and then tap the Llanowar Elf for the other Llanowar. Actually, I'll keep it. That's what we'll do. Got a Multiversal Passage here. I guess we can call... I guess we'll call green. And then, yeah, we can go ahead and pay the 2 for the breeding pool to get the Llanowar Elf down instead. And that's probably fine. Okay, opponent, bring it on, buddy. Bring it on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we die no matter what here. Especially with the double Hydra, too. If it was 1 Hydra and we saw one of our tempo pieces, then we might be sitting pretty, right? But they go ahead and make sure that this Hydra gets the maximum amount of boost, and they go Veil, and they can go ahead and do that since we're essentially tapped out, which would be a risk if Llanowar Elves could also tap for blue or something, right? But and then they still got 3 open. Could be like a Spring Blossom Druid. Or it looks like a fight spell, actually. It's going to be hard-hitting question. Take a blocker out of the equation. They got 36 trampling damage, so at this point, they're just playing it out to get some quests done, too. Okay, let's go ahead and full block the 2020 drop. The good game for the opponent. Is that really the last one? Do we want to try one more? Look, I'm not surprised by the 100% loss rate, you know? So maybe we just go talk about the deck list, talk about what works in it, why it doesn't work against all the meta that we're seeing too. Nah, let's try one more, huh? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I thought that'd be the last one, but it was really fast. Let's see what we can get up to here. And maybe I got to be a little bit more aggressive with the mulligans. I mean, we got all 4 Floodpits Drowner in here and everything. That would have been fantastic. They ended up having the Veil in hand anyway, so it would have had to happen when they were tapped out. So I think we were going to die almost regardless there of what we ended up seeing. Okay, let's start with the breeding pool. The seal. I hope Floodpits Drowner lands next turn. And it's actually just a black source, so that's probably good. We could let the swing go through, but why would we? Does Floodpits Drowner survive the spot removal? That would be good news for us, because then we can go ahead and get Fenrir down without worrying about it dying, which is just kind of good in a 30 creature deck list. Dark Confidant, nice. Okay. Mistrise Village, cool. And then right into Fenrir. Yeah, we don't need to banish the Cecile. Probably. Oh, you know what I should have done though, guys? I should have swung first. Yeah, I think we cheese it through anyway. We do. Yeah, Dark Confidant's very powerful. Corpses of the Lost was their draw on the Confidant, guys. That's actually pretty scary. Especially since we just have a whole bunch of mana. I think I'll take the trades wherever I can take them. So the opponent has to be a little cautious here. Now the question is, do we bank on actually seeing a creature? Over half the deck list is a creature, right? And keeping Fenrir? Or is the Fenrir the trade since it's going to pop itself anyways? No, I think that there's actually a good chance that we can draw on the bottom ability on Fenrir versus what we're up against. So I'll take the trade like this, I think. I'll also take 3, but this is mono black aggro. So, oh nice, we do see Floodpits Drowner. So before we pass it back, oh, the Drowner has to tap for the bottom ability though. Wouldn't be terrible to play this now. Tap down the Cecile, get the extra counter on it, right? It probably would be terrible actually. I'll save the Drowner for their turn. We missed the counter on the Fenrir ability, unfortunately. But something that we can do then too is we can go ahead and play, I guess, this on blue. We don't really need that many blue sources though. Yeah, it's definitely better to keep the Drowner open at instant speed. Huh. You think we can cheese this through? Cecile's going to start swinging next turn though. Less than or equal to half your starting. Okay. So I guess we hold it all. See what we can get up to. Because the Floodpits Drowner might not be tapping down the Cecile, so we do have to be a little careful. Oh, nice. Forsaken Miner is going to come down with haste because of the Corpses of the Lost. Nice. I still got 3 mana open here. Could be a second Corpses of the Lost, which I would say would be incredibly dangerous. Tiny Bones. Dude. Right, mono black aggro leaning towards the Skelly Bellies. We're in danger, dude. If that Tiny Bones gets through, they have 2 mana open to cast the Floodpits Drowner from the grave. So that might actually be the target that we tap down, unless they spend some mana here. And they're looking at the Mistrise Village, just double checking it probably. We honestly, it's like a land that we don't see very often. I see it most in the Jeskai control, or the 4-color control list as well, but yeah, we don't see it very often for some reason. Forsaken Miner, right. So we don't got to worry about the Tiny Bones getting through now, but we got to worry about death. Oh no, oh no. Guys, holy cow. What a lineup, huh? So before we pass to the attackers, I guess we tap down a big creature? I don't know. I don't know, guys. The Cecile was gonna be the tap down, but I guess it's gonna be a Forsaken Miner. I have no idea, dude. In all these matches, I do think that Aetherize would be pretty good. Should we find room for one? I think so. We're gonna hold back on the Cecile swing. Okay. Well, draw a card if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. So I'm going to keep the Fenrir around, take some damage here, and I do think we want the Tiny Bones off the board, so we're going to trade the Drowner into that. Go down to 14. All right. We're fine, dude. We're totally fine. See what happens here. I think they should do this, for sure. No, they decide not to. They must have something better in hand ready. Clifftop Lookout and Marang River Regent. Nice. Holy cow. Right. That's the play, right? I mean, we go right into it. The problem is their Skelly Bellies are going to have haste regardless, so They got 4 mana. I don't think we returned the Corpses of the Lost because it's like I said, I think that they should have returned it themselves, but we don't know what's in their hand. Still, it's a 6/7, bounce a seal, bounce Dark Confidant. That was incredible, a great draw. We do have 2 of the Regents on the top end, and this is the first time we're seeing it. Could just die, right? It could die to some generic spot removal. They could play another Skelly Belly that we don't know about. And then we would just be, I mean, if they play, so they got 3 cards we don't know about. If one of them's a swamp, then 2 mana generic spot removal, then 3 mana Corpses of the Lost, then I guess that's it, right? That's game. But that would be quite the lineup. It's going to be Tiny Bones. Nice. So a great play would be to actually get the Floodpits Drowner and then tap the Marang River Regent. So Tiny Bones is just a huge problem. However, I think that tapping the River Regent, Tiny Bones is so good, dude. We don't want to trade here. I don't think we do. We'd rather have them spend a lot of mana to try to tap down the Regent, right? And they might not even use the Tiny Bones ability, is the thing. 5 down to 9. Floodpits Drowner. It's rough, man. It's a really good lineup for the opponent. They bring back the Forsaken Miner that we blocked. Floodpits Drowner taps down the Regent. Let's see, if we blocked the Tiny Bones, I guess it'd be dead. We'd trade the Regent. 6 would have gone through. They wouldn't have the Floodpits Drowner. But we still have a Regent that'll untap next turn, hopefully, right? So, I don't know, man. I don't know what the best is. So we only got 6 on the board, guys. So 7, still 1 short from the Behemoth, which really wouldn't do too much for us anyway. So I'd say Clifftop Lookout's actually a pretty good draw, as at least it gives us 1 block somewhere. But it's not going to be enough against the onslaught of Skelly Bellies that they got for us here. And taking our own tempo card and using it against us. Tiny Bones is just a nice little creature, huh? Deep Cavern Bat. Well, if we had a chance of winning on the backswing, which we don't because they have a really good full swing, then there it goes, right? Underneath the Deep Cavern Bat. Yeah, because we finally got enough mana for it, too. Feed the Swarm. Nice. Hey, good game, opponent. This poor, poor deck list, huh? Let's go talk about it. A couple of the opponents brought some really cool lists to the table today, didn't they? I really liked that mono black aggro, rocking the Skelly Bellies, or leaning heavy into the skeletons, right? And I really liked that Is It deck list too. Those are neat. Guys. Right. Simic Behemoth. Here's the deck list again. Put it on the Do Not Craft list. Immediately. Do not craft this, right? So I went into it expecting jank. We came out the other end. It's jank. It's definitely jank. And I guess one of the main problems is just how powerful the meta is in general. Just like I said too, the opponents brought some neat things to the table. I think things maybe could have lined up a little better. Maybe we got a little unlucky, but honestly, I don't know if we could play around that luck by changing the deck list too much anyways. We could do something like drop the Jill, go up that Aetherize, but we didn't see the one of Jill today, so that's something. We could go down to 3 Behemoths, go up that Aetherize. That's a possibility. Through the Omenpath, just kind of chilling too. As a one of that, we probably just want more survival by some miracle. Try to actually survive these just incredible board states that the opponents get going. The incredible engines that they get rolling, even in the aggro deck list too, right? So I think that Fenrir could potentially be a 3 of, or maybe a 2 of as well. Fenrir, we saw a little bit of anti-synergy with our flash creatures like the Drowner too. So, but Fenrir is really powerful as well. Let's do some changes. Because hey, no one's gonna craft this anyways, right guys? Right? Put it on the do not craft list. Alright. I think that Aetherize is necessary. We're still gonna be leaning green if we drop like to 3 Fenrir. Or we could do like 3 Clifftop Lookouts too and go up another Into the Flood Maw, or we could also if we do 3 and 3. Because I kind of like how that curve looks, right? Because we still have a good chance of getting into the, well, honestly, the 3 Fenrir also just works, doesn't it? Yeah. I dropped a Fenrir, we went up an Aetherize. We're still leaning green, so the mana base still works pretty well too. I think that we could drop an island successfully, guys. Go up another dual land. I think the Restless Vinestalk could have potentially been good today, but we're just always on the run from whatever the opponent's doing as well, so. Yeah, instead of Into the Flood Maw too, we could do like a bounce off. That way we have the chance of hitting our own creature. Actually, all right, I talked myself into that, huh? Let's drop that Clifftop Lookout. We got 3 of each now. And let's get that bounce off in here. And I think I might even prefer 2 bounce off over the 2 Into the Flood Maw, but I do know that most people prefer the Into the Flood Maw over the bounce off. It's just more often than not, I like having that option to potentially bounce my own creature over the option of bouncing like a Caretaker's Talent, even though that's still great tempo in general. Yeah, we'll keep the double Flood Maw. We got a bounce off, we got an Aetherize, a lot of 1-ofs in here that help us bounce. So here's all the tempo cards we have packed in now. We got bounce off Into the Flood Maw, Jill, Floodpits Drowner, and Aetherize, and Dreamdew Entrancer, and Marang River Regent. That's a good amount of tempo, man. And I call it tempo because that's really what it is. We're not destroying the opponent's creatures or anything. We're just kind of delaying the inevitable as we're trying to establish big threats and, you know, continue to tap down the opponent's big threats and stuff too. And then outside of that, we got some great combos in here. Doppelgang copying literally anything in this deck list is fantastic. So I think the 2 of those is great. Our ramp looks like Llanowar Elves, Clifftop Lookout, Fenrir, which we just dropped 1 of each of those, which is not a lot of ramp now, huh? But we still got 25 mana packed in and a whole bunch of ways to slow down the opponent. It really just doesn't look like a lot of ramp now that I dropped those. That's a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy, but the whole deck list in general is pretty sketchy today, guys. I'd say if we took this into another 4 or 5 games, however many we ended up playing, there's a real possibility we would lose all of them or only come out with like 1 victory. So yeah, it is tough. It is tough, huh? Guys, I don't have too much else to say. We can see why we don't see a lot of Behemoth. 8 mana really is a lot of mana. And when you build an entire deck list to ramp into the 8 mana, all of a sudden you don't have creatures on the board. And you look at this deck list too, we had 30 creatures, we dropped some, we're at 28 creatures. That was like the main point, actually having creatures on the board by the time you hit your 8th mana for the Behemoth, or using those creatures to ramp into Omenpath and then get some free Behemoths in the top 5 cards, right? So, also more Vaultborn Tyrants. I don't have any more though, and I keep bringing this up too. I do think the 3rd one at the very least would have been a worthwhile craft for me, but at this point I'm just chilling at 2, and I guess I'm happy to have the just 2, right? But there's a lot of deck lists where I wouldn't mind the 3rd by any means, and also guys, I wouldn't mind the 3rd Marang River Regent in here either. That would also be pretty darn good. I could even see like 1 Doppelgang, maybe drop the Mockingbird, but Mockingbird's going to be fantastic in here too, so. You know, Mockingbird works a little bit better with things like Clifftop Lookout over the Fenrir. I think I'm really back and forth on this, but I think I do actually want the 4 Lookouts and just the 2 Fenrir. Fenrir ending up popping itself doesn't really work well with the Behemoth, because then that's 1 less creature you have on the board too. Yeah, that's fine. I still like this janky little curve that we got going on here, but don't forget we are trying to do some early ramp with the Llanowar Elves too, so Also just early survival, and then don't even pay attention to the 2-drops because Doppelgang's like a 5-drop at least. But really, you want it on the top end. As a 5-drop, man, maybe it is 1 Doppelgang. Maybe we really can make this a little better. Maybe another Marang River Regent. Maybe a different ramp piece too. I didn't want to go the dragon route this time. We've done like Simic ramp with the dragons a few times since the Awesome Dragons released. So I didn't want to go that route, and I also didn't want to go the Overlord route either. I really wanted to try something different here with just a whole bunch of creatures. I like what we landed on here. I do think the extra bounce off and the Aetherize will help us survive some games. Either way, like I said, do not craft it, huh? It is way too expensive for what it's doing too, so we do some rearranging for commons and uncommons and rares. There's a good chunk of uncommons, I suppose. But mostly, it's going to be this mythic top end, and Behemoth just not seeing any play right now. And again, we kind of see why. When you're doing something like this, you kind of want to go the Kona route, and Kona just doesn't work with Behemoth because Kona does the thing after the combat, and you want Behemoth to do the thing before the combat, which is kind of why it pairs pretty well with that Through the Omenpath. All right, guys. Yeah, I think with these changes, if we played another 4 or 5 games, we could squeeze a couple victories, maybe. Right? Yeah, maybe I'm being too hard on the deck list too. And another card, I'm just always keeping my eye on Dreamdew Entrancer. I think it's really good, man. I think 3 stun counters is no joke, and I also think that 3/4 reach works really well right now too. I love that this comes down after Fenrir. And it could be a 4/5. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that you could also, if you're not doing anything to the opponent, you could tap down like a Llanowar Elves that isn't doing anything right now, draw 2. It's technically the main card draw in here, isn't it? So, Marang River Regent too, of course, for the Omen side, which, again, I think I do want more Marang River Regents. At that point, I called it Simic Behemoth, so it would break my heart to drop the Behemoth, but maybe Behemoth down to 3 and then the 3rd River Regent would be pretty good. I could see that for sure. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? What would you add or take out? Let me know down in the comments. Have you been trying Simic Ramp? Let me know. Are you going the Kona route? Are you still going the Dragon route? Just let me know. I'm curious. All right, guys, if you made it this far in, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.